Welcome to another episode of the Mindset Recruiting Podcast. I'm Alex Rojas, your talent advisor and host. Today's episode, guess what? Companies are hiring recruiters again. I'm going to give you the latest recruiting trends that I'm seeing out there. And what I'm seeing are new positions, new companies, and new roles that recruiters are getting hired for. So I have some new updates here. This is for the talent acquisition community. I think this is the stuff that we've been waiting for quite some time to hear. So this is going to be a good one. Now, we're just getting into the fourth quarter. So we still got a couple of more months really until we end Q4 for 2024. And based on what I'm seeing and based on my pulse on the marketplace right now, I have some positive updates. And we got to rewind a little bit because since the post-pandemic, remember, if you recall, pandemic happened, the marketplace opened up, companies went on a hiring frenzy. They were hiring like crazy to go ahead and build back that business that they had lost during the pandemic. And then all of a sudden, they got a little too heavy, gained a little too much weight. And so that's when the layoffs started happening. And so high tech was sort of the first ones that really led that purge that we saw. And that started in January of 2023. So for a good part of 2024 of this year, companies, what we've seen has they've been reallocating their budgets or they've forecasted slower growth. And there have been economic conditions that have really changed things around altogether. But what I want to share with you in this episode here is I want to share with you and let you know that I have some tangible insights on how we may finally be turning a corner for recruiters. So stick around for my closing commentary. At the end, I'm going to give you 5 ways that you can prepare to get hired again as a recruiter. We want to end this year strong and actually be able to prep up for 2025. That's right, 2025 is actually also around the corner here. So I'm excited, I'm pumped, I'm ready. Let's discuss. So guess what, talent acquisition community? There is a surge in hiring recruiters. That is right. I'm going to share this. I'm going to give you 2 reasons why I'm seeing this. And this is something that, again, I feel very convicted in making sure that I give you an accurate pulse on what I see in the marketplace when it comes to recruiters. So the first thing that I do is I track recruiting jobs within LinkedIn and with Indeed. And I've seen a progression and uptick. I do this on a weekly basis. I want to see how many jobs are posted within talent acquisition that are specifically related to recruiters out there. And so I have seen that trend go upward consistently now for the last 2 months. The next trend that I see is kind of it's another tangible one, but this is really important here because I'm going to show you this here in a second here. What I have seen within my network is I have seen a significant uptick of celebrations that are taking place. Now, my network within LinkedIn is primarily geared towards talent acquisition contacts. This is how I build my community. I want to establish connections with recruiters, sourcers, staffing managers, directors, VPs, coordinators. It doesn't really matter whether you're a staffing agency or corporate or consulting. That is how I establish my connections in all kinds of different verticals and different industries. And I have thousands within my network. And so what I have seen for the most part of 2024 is there has been very little movement and activity when it comes to recruiters, going ahead and celebrating or announcing new career moves. Now, that's one of the good things that LinkedIn does really well is they have that prompt that allows a recruiter to announce that they have accepted a new position and they're at a new company, a new role, or maybe a vertical move over on their end, whatever it might be. And so about a month ago, what I started seeing here was that there were more celebrations taking place. I'm going to go ahead and start listing some of these celebrations because there's a lot of them. There's so many celebrations going on right now. And so it started off with just kind of a trickle effect. I started seeing a few a day, and then it was like every day, and it kept increasing and increasing. And really what I've seen over the past month is that at any given day, I can see anywhere from a half dozen to 15 to 20 announcements of recruiters that are making moves moves that are going to new companies, and they're happening again from all different sectors, big companies, small size companies, promotions, and things of that nature. So when you look at it just from my network, which is only in the thousands, you can look at the compounding and multiplying factor of it, and you can safely say that there is a lot of celebrations, a lot of activity, a lot of movement going on right now within the talent acquisition industry. And this is good news for us, because this means that maybe, perhaps, just maybe, we are trending the right way and recruiters are getting hired again. It's closing commentary mindset time, and I want to give you 5 ways to prepare yourself for getting hired. So let's go through these. Number 1, understanding that business growth has been renewed in corporate America. And so whenever we see opportunities that companies are hiring again, doesn't matter what industry, what vertical, whatever it is, it's time to go ahead and start targeting your top 10, your top 20, 25 companies that you want to keep an eye on. Start watching those companies to see if you're ready to make a move. Go ahead and start putting a little bit of resource and bandwidth in researching and making sure that you can stay on top of that. Number 2, end of year timing is important. It's always important to understand what season that you're in. And fall typically is a good time, because that's where we've seen a lot of this activity with recruiters indicating that they've switched jobs, they switched companies, they're getting promoted into other roles. So moves are happening right now. So that means if things are shaking and moving a little bit, that means go ahead and go back to your resume. When was the last time that you updated your resume? Maybe run that bad boy through a chat GPT function. See what you can do to go ahead and enhance it. You got to elevate your resume. Don't get caught off guard, because an opportunity can pop up. And if you're not ready, you haven't taken the time to review your resume, you may miss out on that window. So I encourage you to go ahead and be prepared that the timing could be around the corner for you as well. Number 3, the third way that you can prepare yourself for getting hired here is really understanding this important part, that companies have gotten a little bit too lean. And so we saw that for a good part of the year. They were letting go of some recruiters still, and they thought, hey, based on business growth opportunities or forecasting, that they could be a little bit more leaner. But that it can only be sustained for a certain period of times. And so when that happens, guess what occurs? Doors open back up. And so when doors open back up, a good indication again is that when recruiters are making announcements that they're leaving their company to go to a new role, guess what? That position still needs to be backfilled. And so you have to make sure that you're staying on top of your network, your feeds, making sure that you have a pulse within your network, within your colleagues and coworkers and things of that nature, so you understand what's going on there. The fourth way that you can prepare for getting hired is going to be artificial intelligence technology. Companies are investing in it. It's known fact right now. And so they have been assessing their assets. They want to understand where can they go ahead and invest in certain tools and technologies. And so it's happening right now. It's going to increase productivity. They're looking to automate mundane tasks that are out there. And so it's important for you to be ready to start understanding a lot of these AI components that are out there. I have several episodes that I've spoken about on artificial intelligence, something that I have passion for. So you can go back and look at some of those episodes. And again, don't get left behind, because recruiters that at least understand and learn it are going to be able to pivot pretty nicely into those opportunities. They want to know how much AI knowledge and insights you have. And then finally, the fifth way that you can prepare getting yourself hired is going to be that you must be adaptable. And that really means that you need to remain patient through this process, because new roles are going to come up, and you want to make sure you eye your next move, whether it's a permanent gig or a contract gig, whatever it might be. You also want to make sure that you have some flexibility when it comes to compensation and telecommuting. Now, compensation may not get back to those post-pandemic levels, so you have to be adaptable. You have to show a little bit of flexibility flexibility when it comes to that. Okay, so those are your 5 ways to prepare yourself for getting hired as we end the year and prepare for 2025. A final note, just to realize, again, awareness is really important for us as recruiters, but the elections are actually right around the corner as well, and it's only a couple of weeks away from the time of this recording. So there's going to be a lot of influences on what happens in the market. So you got to wait till you watch that closely. And also remember to follow the jobs reports that gets released to make sure you stay on top of any economic conditions that deals with mortgage interest rates, inflation. Again, I'm a big encourager in making sure that you at least keep an eye on the business cable network news. Make sure you read some periodicals that are out there as well. Again, this is going to be helpful for you to understand what is happening so you can be ready to adapt to any situation. I hope this episode was informative. Please remember to like, to subscribe, to comment, and to share. And as always, remember, until next time, it's all about the mindset.